Welcome back to the channel, everyone. And today you join me on another episode on the Opel Manta i200 restoration project. Now, if you remember on the last episode, we got quite a lot of progress done on this. I won't go through it all again. I've updated you all on the last episode with where we are up to with this. Now, on this episode, I've got a bit of a confession to make. I've made a bit of a big mistake on the last episode building the engine. Now, you will have remembered last time we got the engine completely rebuilt and it looked absolutely mint, sparkling clean, everything was on and it looked absolutely fantastic. Now, this is the current state of the engine. Again, you're probably wondering why. Now, the confession I've got to make is I actually forgot to put on this timing chain guide there. Now, it turns out that I'd overlooked this. Now, once I got all this engine built back up, everything back on it, looking mint, come across this box. Now, this little box there is what came back from the engine builder along with this engine. Now, normally when we get an engine built, they always send a couple of boxes back with all the old stuff in the engine, just so that they can show you that all the components have been replaced. Basically, all your old components come back in various boxes. Now, after I'd rebuilt this engine on the last episode, I happened to have a look in that box, and in that box, I found that. So, I was absolutely gutted, because that is a vital component. Obviously, that is one of the timing chain guides. Now, I'm kicking myself really, because I've built many of these engines and I really can't believe that I missed that off. So it was a bit of a bummer, but these things do happen, guys. And again, some channels will probably try and hide this stuff, but mistakes happen. We're all human. It's one of them things that's been overlooked. There's no point getting frustrated about it. It's just a case of stripping it down and doing it again. We do like to show the good, the bad and the ugly on this channel. Again, I could have hidden this from you guys and just pretended it never happened, but that's not what we're about. We're a real channel, it's real life, real people, and we do make real mistakes. Now, I could have probably got away with just removing the timing cover, which is that bit there, pulling that off, putting this chain guide in and building it all back up. But the problem you get is because the cylinder head actually overhangs the front of the block, so you've got a bit of the head gasket there. And I just thought, you know what, I'm not taking the risk, because I will not know if this is going to go wrong until it is in the car. And I'd rather deal with this issue now than when it's in the car. Last thing I want to happen is get this engine in the car, all piped up, all wired up, start it up, and the next thing it's absolutely gushing oil everywhere. So we thought, you know what, let's start again, strip it back down to basically the bare block, and let's just do it again so we know it's right. Obviously, that consists of a full new gasket set, because we can't reuse these gaskets once they've been fitted. That's it, it's game over. So I have had to order a full new gasket set, which has now arrived. So for me, this is probably going to be about 4 or 5 hours worth of work, but for you guys, it'll be quite quick. We'll get this done now. There we go. So she's all now built back up. So it's pretty much back to where it was, with the addition of the alternator is now on, starter motor is now on, a couple of other little bits and bobs. We've also got the water pump on, all sealed in. This belt, unfortunately, is wrong, but I do have another one, so I will be taking this back off. It's that's at full stretch there now. You can see that's at the end of its travel, and the belt is still loose. So we'll deal with that at a later date. There's nothing stopping us from continuing on at this point. Now, got all my bits and bobs here ready to go. So we've got our gearbox there. We just need to put some bits back on the box. We've got to get the gear selector back on here. There's a couple of bushes that are worn out, so I need to figure out something with those bushes, because I don't have any new ones, and I don't actually think new ones are available. We've also got our engine mounts now on. We had these covers and the engine mounts replated at the zinc platers, just to tidy that up a little bit. I've got all the clips on the fuel lines now, so that we can start to straighten all these fuel hoses out now, make them a little bit neater. So them are all on. We've got one there. There is one still, where is it? There. Now, I've not put that one on just yet, because I need to get the fuel pump bracket and everything on. Now, we have had some more stuff come back from the platers, including our fuel bracketry, fuel pump bracketry. So that is what the fuel pump and the filter bolts to, so that is ready to go on. We've got our gearbox mount, all zinc plated as well, so that's ready to go on. I've got a new gearbox mount here, which we need to put together, and that will replace this nasty old rubber mount here. That will replace that. That's perished. It's had a lot of oil on it in the past. So obviously that oil has took its toll on the rubber. I've got some new seals to put in the box, in the rear and the front of the box, which are here. So we've got to put those in. We've got the prop shaft ready to go on. We've got some various other bits and bobs ready to go on. I've also fitted the rear anti-roll bar brackets. If you remember one of the previous episodes, we got the anti-roll bar in place, but these was with the plater, so we couldn't actually put the brackets on, but they are now on. So again, it's looking absolutely mint under here, guys, and the aim of the game now for the rest of the day is to get the seals in the gearbox. We've got a clutch back as well from the clutch centre, which is now being refurbed, so the clutch is pretty much brand new. So we've got to put the flywheel on the back of the engine. To do that, we've got to get the engine off the engine stand, so we'll have to get the engine crane out, mount the engine on the engine crane. We can then put the flywheel on, put the clutch on, get our clutch aligning tool out, line that clutch up. We can then mount the gearbox to the engine, and then fingers crossed, with a bit of luck, we should actually be able to get the engine and box dropped in here, and also get the prop shaft on and start to run the wiring loom. Now the wiring loom does need re-wrapping, so I will be doing that as well. I've got some nice BMW wiring loom tape that I'm going to be using on the wiring loom on this car, so plenty to do today. So let's get cracking. Let's get this engine and box in this car. Right, so first thing we are going to start with is getting these seals, oil seals, replaced in the gearbox. Now it's always advisable just to offer these up and make sure that they look the same size, so that looks like it will fit in there perfectly. I'm just going to try this on the end of our prop shaft as well, and that fits on the end of that prop shaft nice and snug, so we know that is going to make a good seal, so we can start to knock this old seal out. And the way I'm going to do that is quite simple. I'm just going to get a flathead screwdriver, knock it into the seal and just pry it out. There is various different ways you can do this. I do have some seal pullers, but the problem you've got is it's quite a tight gap to get in there with the heel bar or the oil seal puller, so it's just as easy to knock flathead screwdriver in there, break this old seal out, and then we can tap this new seal in with a nylon hammer. Just as simple as that. Put a little bit of oil around this just to help it go in so it doesn't nip up on the seal, and we'll knock that in. Right, so that is our seal lubricated, and I found a nice tube that fits over that perfectly just to help knock this in straight. Get a little tap to get it in position. Right, so we've got our flywheel here, and if you remember when we stripped this, we actually marked this up for the P-bolt, where the P-bolt goes. There's one bolt that is just slightly offset to the rest of them, so it should be about there. We've marked up here for our P-bolt, which is this one with a P on. Goes in there. What's the answer? Torque setting FT. Standard socket. The impact gun coming out will get you shouted at. Well, guess what? My impact gun, it's my socket, so I don't care. So here we have our pressure plate and here we have our friction plate. Now it is important that you get this the correct way around, because if you do put it in the wrong way around, your clutch won't work. Now if you look just here, you can see that right in there. That is actually in German. We've translated that, and what does it say, Kevin?
It would say that if it worked.
Press the button.
I'm trying to press the button. Hang on. Oh, stupid thing. Oh, God. Right, pause.
So that says...
Getriebeseite.
Getriebeseite, which means
Getriebeseite.
transmission side. So this side is the side that faces the gearbox. So we know it goes in that way. Now, if I hold this in position, Kevin, if you could kindly put the alignment tool in for me, please.
Specially made from an old gearbox because they were worthless back in the day. There we go.
So that's in. Get our bolts ready. Probably should have got them ready already, but you know,
it would help.
These are our bolts for our clutch plate.
Very nice.
I think. Just take out the slack in the bolts with the gun. The torque setting for these is 15 foot-pounds or pounds-feet, whichever way you want to say it. Get these are nipping up. There we go, one clutch fitted and aligned. Right, so we've got our gearbox built up, we've got all the shifter on, we've got our new mount fitted, and we've got our cross brace in as well, which is the mounting point which fastens up here, across there to hold the gearbox up underneath the car. So we're now going to offer this gearbox up to the engine. We've got our bolts ready, we've got socket ready for the gun to blast these bolts in. So I've also greased up the shafts, the spigot shaft. I've got some grease in it. I've checked the pilot bearings in. I've put a little bit of grease inside the pilot bearing as well. The clutch is lined up, so this should go in, fingers crossed, without too much hassle. We've also replaced the oil seals in the gearbox as well, so this should be ready to go straight in.
They're going to the studs anyway, aren't they?
Look at that.
There we go.
Straight in. Bosh.
One gone.
Alright. I might just have to move this chair back a little bit, I think.
Okay.
Here we go. Beautiful. Mine is the short one.
Long way.
Alright. Right, so we're going to have a little bit of a clear up now because we've got quite a lot of stuff scattered all over the place. Obviously we need to lower this car down, so we're going to lower this down on the ramp, but we do need to leave it up a little bit because when this engine and box goes in, you've got to tip it right up and just kind of swing it underneath the car. So you do need a bit of ground clearance just to allow the box to travel underneath, and then you've got to push it up into the transmission tool and bolt it in. So we're going to have a bit of a tool hunt, a bit of a tidy up. We'll get this car lowered down and hopefully this should go in pretty straightforward. Fingers crossed. Right, so that is the engine in position. Kevin's just going to start to nip up the engine mounts there and on the other side. The next thing we've got to do now, I need to get underneath the car and lift the gearbox up basically and bolt that cross brace or the gearbox mount up to the shell of the car. So I'm going to climb underneath in a moment. There's not really much I can video under there, so as you can see it is quite close to the floor, so I'm going to struggle videoing underneath there whilst also trying to lift the gearbox into position and put the bolts in. So I'm going to climb under there now, I'll get it bolted up and I'll be back with you very soon. We'll get the car back up in the air and we'll start to get the prop shaft on. Right, prop shaft in.
Got the spring on that?
No, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
Try that again with the spring. Prop shaft in. Alright.
Need to pull it down the note to get them in.
You've got to get them in from the top.
Oh, and pull the prop down. Like that.
So that's the prop shaft in position. And just on the back of the prop now we have these tabs what Kevin has got in his hand. And these tabs just basically slide over the little U-bolt type things. And then if you look just on here, once you've got your nuts on, there's a couple of little flanges there that you just tap back over the nut just to lock the nut in place to stop it coming loose. Well, that's coming down now, isn't it? Bit grim outside. Days like this. I'm glad you're working inside. It looks like there's plenty of rain to come yet. Got the old Porsche out here. Actually got someone coming to look at this afternoon. It is for sale, unfortunately. We've got too many projects on the go and we do have some other stuff lined up for the channel, so I think we've done really all we need to do with this. I was going to use it and restore it, but I would love to get a hardtop version. Obviously this is a Targa top, so one of my dream cars. Box ticked, next one, hardtop, and we will be restoring a hardtop, one of these in the very near future. Hopefully a turbo. One day I want a turbo. So yeah, this one is for sale. Maybe gone this afternoon. I'll keep you updated on that. Well hard with them gloves on.
I know. I can't feel a goddamn thing.
I want to take them off. Everything's brand new and shiny on this, Kevin. You don't need gloves. Even though I'm wearing gloves. I'm wearing gloves to stop stuff getting dirty. You're wearing dirty gloves making clean stuff dirty.
Pa!
Tabs on there.
You're not?
No, can you get that one?
Oh no, there's one here. Yeah, there's a better one.
Swap that one out because I just noticed there's no tabs on that one. I'll show you the difference now.
That's a tabbing.
We found a good one. As you can see, that one has got the tabs on, and that one is missing. So that one in the bin.
Use it with eye locks, I suppose.
You're using night locks. You won't need this. Defeats the object of having fitted it in the first place, isn't it?
I do. You don't trust me, do you?
No.
I hope you hit it yourself.
Well, you're telling me that you want me to do that bit because you don't want to damage it, and the next thing you want to hit me nice shiny crop shot with that hammer. So I will take the hammer, thank you very much. There we go. Oh. Right, so we are now just building up the fuel pump bracketry. We've got the mount on, filter in, brand new Bosch fuel pump. All the brackets been zinc plated as well. So we're now we've got all our clips on the fuel lines. We've got one last clip to put on up here. Kevin's just going to cut these pipes to the correct length. We have marked them up so we know which that they are going to be long enough. I'll get the pipe cutter in there and trim them off.
Ow. Well tight. Might have to go back to the bigger cutter. I can't tighten that up. Stupid gloves on, that's why. Riveting content under it.
Yeah. Fantastic new pipe cut you've bought.
A minute. Really? Available on Amazon, these.
Really sharp.
They're only £3.
Yeah. Don't buy them. I think you have to get the big one out.
Ah, it's just not working.
Yeah, get the proper one out.
Ah.
That's well crap.
Oh, it's just... Come on.
It's not doing anything.
One more, it is.
You're not for giving up, are you?
No. It is, I'm sure it's doing something. It can't just be scratching the surface.
Just like crushing the pipe or something.
How come I got this job? Oh, it's my pipe
You
cutter.
got to test out your new pipe cutter.
I bought 2 of these.
Chineseium. You bought 2 of them?
Yeah. Why have one when you have 2 at twice the price? Oh. Keeps tightening up. Is it doing something? It must be.
Crushing the pipe.
Come on. This is Amtech high quality brake pipe cutter. Come on. It's gotta go. Yeah.
Hey!
Right.
Are you going through that pain with the other one, or are you going to use the proper one?
I'm going to use the proper one.
Good. You just hope you've got enough room for that one.
Ooh, don't look like it. I'll have to take it out of that bracket. We just bent over. Might not go this. Oh yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Back up there.
Right, let's get them put back in, get the clamp on.
In.
So our fuel pump is pretty much built up now. We're just missing a P-clip for there, which holds that up. So the P-clip goes onto there, around there. So I need to order one of them. We've got the piping in. Obviously, we can't pipe these up yet because there's no fuel tank in it, but the pipe is there. So that is the fuel in. So from the tank into the filter and the pump. And then this is the return line. So once we've got the tank on, we then need to run a pipe from there into the tank for the fuel return. Again, we've got all the rear anti-roll bar brackets on. Looking absolutely mint under here now. Prop shaft is on. All nice new shiny clamps for the prop shaft. Engine and box in. Nicely zinc plated rear mount. It's looking absolutely mint. So I'm just going to lower this car down now. And I'll take you for a little look up in the top with the engine in the engine bay. And I'll tell you what's to come next. So there we have our nice shiny engine in our nice shiny freshly repainted engine bay. How good's that looking, guys? I think that's come out absolutely mint. Starter motor on, alternator on. Obviously we've got to get our dizzy on yet as well, and all the pipe work. So coming next for this car, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to mask up the whole underneath of this car so all this nice shiny stuff doesn't get covered in dust and overspray. And then I'm going to get Tom to come down, our body man, start to prep all the inside of this shell and get it all painted in body colour inside. So the whole inside of this shell is going to go into the same white as the underside and obviously the engine bay. Once all the inside of the car is painted, I can then get the fuel tank in, finish off that pipe into the fuel tank. I can get my brake servo in, which we've got painted all ready to go on. Once the servo's on, we can then start to run our wiring loom through. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to rewrap the whole loom so it looks nice and tidy. We can get all the inlet manifold on, the exhaust can go on. We can get our dizzy in, we can get everything wired up, and then at that point obviously we can bleed the brakes, and there shouldn't really be anything stopping us getting this car running and driving. Once we've got it running and driving, then it just comes down to getting the shell painted really, and that's going to be one of the things that I'm going to struggle with because there's not many people that want to paint a whole car anymore. A lot of these garages now, a lot of these paint shops are just doing insurance stuff, you know, bumpers, wings and stuff like that. So might struggle trying to find someone, but I'm sure we will get somebody willing to paint the whole car. Once it's painted, then just a case of throwing it all back together. We've got the whole interior ready to go back in. And yeah, all the nuts and bolts and everything are all zinc plated, ready to go back in as well. We've got the dashboard and all that sort of stuff all cleaned up, ready to go, which is all up on the shelves up there. We've got our steering column ready to go back in as well. So yeah, it should be coming on pretty quickly, this car, in the very near future. So I'm going to leave this one here, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you all on the next video.